What is up, bass heads? It is your boy, the OG, Soda Pop Kid, coming to you direct from my barber shop, where I have this box that I built sitting in here, taking up room in my shop. So I'm able to cut hair around all this, and people coming in here seeing what I've been working on. Because cutting hair ain't the only thing that I do. I dance, I build stereo systems, I do my own system, I enter competitions and stuff like that. And people think all I do is cut hair. But no. All right, and I got this box I built for Christina Lane, manager down at AutoZone. She got a 1987 Chevy Suburban that this is going in with 815s, 8 resilient sounds, 1544 V2 entry level 15s. Okay, them 15s are 750 watts RMS, and I'm going to have 3 of the Stetson Bravo bass flex impedance 3Ks running these, and 3 of the Iron Series Stetson 800.4s running the doors. I'm doing this whole entire build by myself. I'm doing her doors, all the wiring. I still got to make a amp board or an amp rack or an amp station for this. I still got to make a battery bank for this as well. But the box itself is pretty much done. Got it thread rotted, got the bracing going on. It's double layered all the way around. Double layered all the way around. This thing is as heavy as a coffin. I mean, me and my boy Dre had, before the top was on it, we picked it up to take it outside so I can do some trimming and stuff on the porch, and both of us, this dude weighs at least 30 or 40 pounds more than I do, and we had a hard time getting this out of here. So getting it inside of her truck is going to take about 4 of us. And I wanted to have the subs in there and have them all wired up. So once it does get outside near the truck, when it's time to put it in, we'll probably put the subs in then and be able to just lift it up and slide it in the truck with the subs mounted and connected. All right, or get it in there and I climb up over and we be dumping the subs in then. It depends. So I'm going to put some handles on the sides of it. I planned on doing to make it easier to lift up. But I got the thread rod in there, got the port in there. The port is 12 inches deep. This box is tuned to 32 hertz is what it's tuned to. Okay, so how many cubic foot is this? Each one of them subs is going to be seeing 3 cubes after displacement. Okay, and those particular speakers, the specs say 3 to 4, with 3.5 to 4.5 cubic foot for them subs. All right, so I got them in 3 to get a little bit better cone control and all of that. And Christina, well, she wanted it because she wanted it. She's been bugging me for a system for, I don't know, 5 years, and I wasn't going to do it because I stopped building for people out here because they want a $20,000 system for only $500 and everything installed. You know what I mean? And these shops out here is charging $125 or more per hour to build and install. You know what I mean? But they want to come at guys like me and want me to slave over it for nothing. Like, nah, hell no. I've been on this build for about a month now. Okay, trying to do 2 at the same time. I'll talk about this in a minute. Building 2 at the same time and cutting hair and being a chauffeur and every damn thing else, man. So, yes. You know what I mean? And this is the color that she wanted because her wiring and everything is there. And it's green as well. Her shrink wrap is green. Her truck is black and green and yada, yada, yada. So this is how much I got done so far. And I still got to do the amp board, and another bill for her batteries. I'm going to go on to the Limitless website and Excess Power. But instead of her, we was talking about her getting some AGMs. Now we're going to get some batteries especially made for car audio. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to go look on the website and see how much two nice big limitless batteries are for so many watts. They tell you how many watts they can hold. We're going to do that. You know what I mean? And then I got to do her door panels. Okay, and then I was talking about doing her roof as well. So I still got more work to do. And this is sitting around in my shop taking up room. Me and her talked about this while, I'm waiting for her to get other things done to that truck. But it's all braced. You know what I mean? Bracing, that's a 3/4 inch thread bar. Braced in there. I was asked a question and I was thinking about putting those wooden rods in there. I thought about that, but these are metal ones. They're stronger, and I've always used them. So, I decided to go with these. I had to cut them and all that, but that's cool. Now let's go over here. This is for my 615s. This is just a baffle. It's 4 layers thick, so 3 inches thick. All right, and I got the whole sort of thread bar in there too. I've been doing little stuff on this, body work. I did resin on the inside. I resined the whole inside earlier of the box. I usually do that. Got to do a little bit of sanding. Here's the port. It's 18 inches deep. Right here, I got to paint it. I do all of that before I put it in, paint it, mount it in. I use like a wooden frame to go around it to mount it to. Yada, yada, yada. There goes my subs right there. I got the Resilient Sounds Platinum V2 D1 15s. So, I had 9 of the D1 Resilient Sounds Platinum 12s in there last season. 9 12s with a 8,000 watt Stetson Bravo bass flex impedance, 8K on each one. I'm going to drop down to 6 of the AKs, and so I got more cone area and less motor force and less power at the same time. Now, I don't know, that's kind of a dilemma to some bass heads. I'm dropping motor force and dropping power, but let me take you back, because some time ago a bass head that says sometimes less is more, or sometimes less is better. I remember running 8 Mofo 12s, and I was hitting 153.5. This is before I knew about opening up a window. I'm talking about sealed outlaw, and this is before I started throwing the mics in the kick. I was going windshield. So if I would have threw the mic in the kick, well, I ended up doing it in the long run, but when I was running the 12s, I didn't do it. I was sealed outlaw. Then I went down to 6 Mofo 12s and only 6 amps. And was louder, like a few tenths louder, doing the same thing. In reality, I would have been hitting 55s, in reality, if I would have knew about the window opening thing in the kick panel. So I'm talking about sealed outlaw. And this was Mecca. I was doing everything like DB Drag, because that's all I knew. Okay? But I went down. Then I ended up with 415s and ended up doing 159.9s. Almost did a 160. The only reason why I didn't hit a 60 with 415s is because all I needed to do was go up one frequency, and I would have went over a 60 if I would have known better. I was burping at 42 hertz when the resonant frequency was really 43, and I kept getting told, hey man, just go up a frequency, you'll go over a 60. Do it right now while I was in the lanes. And I wouldn't, because I was content. You get it? So it's always a learning process, and I'm doing 6 of them. All right, and so there's like pretty much a dilemma if I'm going to hit the same either parking pound that I was doing with the 912s, which I was doing a 137.37 was my highest score at World Finals. I was trying to do a 38, and then I unloaded a sub. I had a side port, and they was telling me why I sub unloaded. I actually went harder than I should have went. I went hard. That's what I did. I went too hard, and I ended up hurting a sub. I tried to get a 138, which I was not going to beat the 2 guys that I went against, but I did end up beating one of them because his radio died. So it put me in second place at Worlds. All right, so that was that. So I'm going to see what 615s is going to do because I never ran 615s before. And I always wanted to run 615s. I got a little discouraged about them 12s because I thought I wasn't going to never get rid of them RS 12s. I was going to keep them. But nevertheless, everybody's always trying to get bigger and better and stronger for the next season. So everybody's going to be rebuilding and trying to do better. And I'm going up against 4th and 6th order band passes. I'm just a flat wall. But if I ever get a truck, I'm going to do a 4th order. If I ever get a truck, I'm going to go 4th order. That's what I'm going to do. But in my car, a 4th order band pass, there, 415s, I could have got away with that. 612s, I could have got away with that. I was going to do 1810s in a 6.5 order before I decided to go this route. I had the board drawn out, and then I was talking to some base heads, and I kept getting told, like, dude, you're gonna get some cancellation. Yeah, it might do good on demos, but it may not do good on the microphone. And some cat stayed in my ear about that. I wanted to try it anyway, because I usually experiment to see what it would do. And I might have been surprised, but I got talked out of it, y'all. Out of doing a 6.5 order with 1810s. And still use my 9 Stetson Bravo base flex impedance AKs. I'm still going to use them, but put 1 amp or 2 subs. That's what I was going to do. Okay, but 615s is more cone area than 912s was like the same cone area as 418s. 1,017 square inches. Now, this is 1,059. This is a little bit more cone area. You know, not as much motor force, but I'm hoping because I'm going to have it tuned to 34 and some change hertz. Okay? And each sub is going to be seeing 2.49 cubes, which the specs on these is 2.5 to 3.5 cubic foot is the specs. I want some cone control. Okay, so I'm going with the smaller chamber for cone control. All right, so, and then I'm going to run in the top port, so I shouldn't get no subs unloading with a top port. Everything's on an even plane. You know, so it's a top port. Top port is going to be about 217 square inches big, and I was told that 615s would need a bigger port, but it all varies, man. It varies. And I'm going to have like an amp per, 8K per, and I'm dying to hear what this sounds like. And I've been on both of these back and forth for a darn month, and it's starting to wear me down doing this, man, because I was running into complications, and I can't wait to get another table saw. I miss my table saw. My table saw died, and I miss my table saw. You know what I mean? And I just spent money on this stuff, and I tore that chamber out of that car 1,000 times. But one of these days I'll get a truck, and I'll do a 4th order band pass. And I was supposed to go to Boston next weekend for a dance contest. Not that I was going to enter. I was going to go out there and support my boy Megatron and all that, but I'm not going to make it because I got things to do here, man. And then I've been tired, body aches and everything else to still get up and cut hair and be doing this stuff at the same time. Every time I got a break, I'll run over here and start messing with something. You know what I mean? And I was saying that I might have bit off more than I can chew messing with all of this stuff, dude. And the cost of the money that it took to do this, man. And I was, what was I doing? Pretty much, guesstimating how much it would have took. It's taken more money than what I thought to do this stuff. And time. You know what I mean? So, you know, I gotta do a little bit of sanding, and then I'm gonna paint this. It's just gonna be black, mine's. I'm not doing two-tone. She asked for the color she asked for. But I gotta do some sanding. I lengthened the port it was. At first it was 14 inches long. And then I made it longer to get it to play lower. And stuff like that, man. So it is what it is. I can't wait to be done with this and get it in there. And then I gotta get a friend or two to help me load these subs once this is in there. Yada, yada, yada. Get some new thread bar. Tighten that down. But like I said, this is 4 layers thick. This is thick. Yeah, that's 4 whole layers. Thick. Pretty strong. Like I said, I resined the inside of it. It's nice and dry now. And hard and dry. Boom, boom, boom. You know, and I gotta hope for the best and not expect the worst on what this may sound like. So curious. I'm hoping it hit at least, here we go again, at least 63s. I did a 63.79 with the 912s before the speakers were even broke in. But every time I did a burp, I heard an amp. Then I found out the Stetsons don't like to be ran at 16 volts or above. They want to be ran at 15.5, but they say that they're 17 volt capable. There's a problem there. Yes, I got 8,800 watts out of each one of them. That's for sure. 6 of them is going to like that 190 amp hour C-Max better than the 9 amps were, but I still was seeing 8,800 watts out of each one of them, all 9 of them. So the 6 of them is going to be able to see more power with just 6 of them versus 9 of them. So I may get 9 to 10K out of them, but I'm going to have to set them according to the power of what these subs want to take. You know what I mean? So I might have to set them to what the subs are. You know, I might have to set them at about 5 or 6K burp a while, so I don't hurt the subs. You know what I mean? Yada, 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 yada. But I just wanted to do a video because I haven't talked to you guys in a while or did no videos. So it's tomorrow morning. I'm going to be down there putting the framer in there. You know, come back here. Before I do that, I'm going to sand this. I got to trim it a little bit with that line. I got to trim that off. And then I'm going to put the first coat of paint on. That's what I'm going to do, the first coat of paint. I'm going to put it on and then go down there and get to messing with that car. And then come back, and maybe by Monday, this will be getting mounted in there. Okay, at least mounted. And then I'm going to have to make a whole new amp rack. I'm going to have to take 3, I'm going to have 3 extra amps, which is good, so I'll have backups. Okay, so I'll have 6 in there. It will have better room in there, in the trunk and all this, that, and the other. So I just wanted to do this, people. I'm going to post it up. It's 1:30 in the morning now, so I'm going to post this up later on this morning and let y'all watch it. You know, see what's going on and make your little comments and give me your opinions and, you know, 615s and what they may do. Yada, yada, yada. Yada, yada, yada. It's your boy, the OG Soda Pop Kid. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. And I'm dying to see what this does. I'm dying to see what this does, man. Right here. Resilient sounds for the win. Peace.